Hello everyone, thank you for having me here tonight. I'm Manuel Albano, I come from Italy, I'm 40 years old and I live in the Netherlands since 2016. This trip, let's say this journey starts yesterday since I got the message from Mavi who asked me to come here and to tell my story here. I'm not... Sorry?
Yes. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Sorry, but you're standing in front of your slide, so...
I wanted to check your attention, now I'm on one side.
Well, I got
Thank you for the tip, I appreciate it. So this journey starts yesterday since I got the message from Mavi. I was in the airport and I got this long message asking me to come here and tell my story. I never done before, so I apologize if I say something wrong or if I say something not fluent because I'm not used to it. Well, I took some while to decide and there are two main reasons why I'm here. The first of all, because this brings me far away from my comfort zone. And this is one of the main things I always done in my life. So moving out of my comfort zone drives me always. So as you can feel, I'm emotional approval to be here. And the second main reason is because if through my story and through this effort we all are making to be here and listen to this story, I can influence positively or inspire at least one of you guys, this effort what to be done. So as I said, my name is Manuel and I come from south of Italy, 2,500 kilometers far away from here. And I started my journey working with my father in our family business, which is car dealing. And afterward, I moved into the horse world. Why I did? Mainly because I didn't have a good relation with my father, working wise. Personally wise, it's still beautiful, and he's still the person who inspired me the most. But since then, I understood I could not have a boss because I wanted to be part of the decision of the company, even if I was 18. But cannot happen because I'm too young. And my father built up everything, so he has more experience than me. But I could not stand still. So after a while fighting, I decided, okay, I go on my own. Few years in advance, that day, I started riding horses. For fun, because horses were my favorite pet. Let's say I was reading about horses at home and so. And during my first Saturday of school, I decided to don't go to the school. Please don't follow this tip. And I randomly landed with my car in a stable that was 500 meters far away from my parents' house. So I step into the stable and I ask, what can I do to have riding lessons? So the owner of the stable say to me, it costs 170 euro and you have 12 lessons and the license to go to the show. So I felt, okay, it's done. This is my place. I went back home and I asked my father, please give me 170 euro because I want to do riding school. And he said to me, you better go play football because it's cheaper. So I say, Papa, it's better you tell me, you give me the money because I want to do it for real. He said, no chance, you don't have it. If you don't give me, I find it. I was stubborn for the second time in a short period of time. And then what did I do? My father didn't give me the money. I went in the sleeping room. I get all my gold I got in the past from baptism and so. I went to a shop where you waste the gold for 6 euro a gram. I get 250 euro, I go to Decathlon, I buy the riding boots, I buy the riding pants. Day after, riding lesson. One lunch later, I was at home, dirty and smelling as cow. And he said to me, what did you do? I said, I went to ride horses. And how did you find the money? I say, I sold all the gold. And then starts the nightmare because he was yelling at me like really a devil. But I didn't regret because after a long while, horses are my life and I'm happy I did made that choice. Against my father. Few years later, that moment, I was not happy to work with him, even if it was successful. And I said, okay, I need to take a decision. I was fatter than now, unhappy. I was eating like way too much because I was feeling unhappy, and the food was helping me to feel a little bit better. So I say, okay, I step out from the family business, and what do? I ride horse for fun. Nobody will pay me as a professional rider, but I can get some money from the horse industry. So I start to clip horses for job. But one day before, I was well dressed in an office with everything arranged, coffee machine, clients, good salary. So that moment that I'm now speaking really easy, it wasn't easy, because I need to undress myself and step in a jungle, because the horse world is a jungle, and decide to be not comfortable anymore and start to clip horses. It was giving me some penny to be independent, because I didn't want to go back to my father and say, okay, please finance myself, because I'm on the bottom. So I did everything legal I could to go 1 meter further. 1 meter further. I decided after 2-3 years of this life to move myself 150 kilometers far away from my home, in a good stable in the South Italy, from a really good coach, with a lot of clients, where I understood I could learn a lot. So every day I was driving up and down 300 kilometers just to stay in that stable, clip the horses, and then at the end of the day launch some horse, and then after launching maybe riding one from a client that was not showing up in the stable. So it was really, the side of the day was riding horses, and for the rest I was doing whatever the industry was asking me. After 7 years of this life, clipping and grooming and driving the truck up and down in Italy, because in the while I got the driving license for the truck, I could ride better. And someone decided to give me some trust. And I start to ride a semi-professional way. I start to get some money from people paying me to train them horses. A small episode that happened back in the days, that is also showing a bit my character and my profile, was my first coach said to me, Manuel, you are not made to ride horses. You are too strong, too not smooth. It's not your sport. And I took it really personal. And after I say, give me a few years and I show you what is gonna happen. But I didn't tell to him. I just told to myself. So I took these words as a push to prove, first of all, to myself that nobody can say to me, I'm not made for. So it has to be done. If you really want something, you can grab it. Back in Lecce, where I was, I start to ride professionally. I get house from my boss, so I start to live 150 kilometers far away from my house, and I start my journey as professional rider. In the meanwhile, I start to study to become coach. It took 5 years. It's a kind of university protocol, let's say in this way. It takes 5 years. In Italy, it's a really long procedure. And after being paid as a rider and being a coach, I decided to open my own stable in Italy, in my own town. So close again to my parents and close again to my roots, let's say. So I rent a sheep place, empty, where only sheep were standing there, and I clean up everything. And after the working day in Lecce, I was cutting iron, cutting woods, putting roof, putting water, electricity. After 6 months working from 20 to 24 in the night, I could make ready 2 boxes for my horse and for my girlfriend horse, and one for the client, just one for the client. When everything was ready, I moved there my horses, and I welcomed the first client that was paying me 250 euro per month, which was not enough even to say good morning into the stable. But okay, I say better 250 than nothing. So let's come in. Since that moment, 2 years later, I had 35 horses in the stable. I made everything full. I had 6, 7, 8 horses to ride on my own for the sport from client in the land. And then 15 students, already pro students, and a big riding school. So I was the whole day involved in teaching and riding in my own stable. Wasn't owned, was rented, but I felt like my own. If I see myself when I started, I say, okay, this is my dream. I already got everything. And I had a truck with for horses and with living. I could bring my students in the show, my horses in the show, and I could live in. It works like that in the horse world. So we all have a truck with stalls behind and a camper in front where we live. And I was a few years later, I was in a prize giving on a local show in the south of Italy, and I got a phone call from one of the most important horse owners in Italy. And he asked me, can you please come and work for me in Cattolica? Cattolica is quite into the north, so almost 1,000 kilometers more to the north. And still now, there is the most beautiful showground in Italy. Of course, by stomach I say, no, it's not possible. I have a business here and I cannot leave. I have a lot of people give me trust. I don't feel like going away at the moment. And he pushed me, please, you have to come, you have to come, you have to come. Please come 1 week only, just to make a trial. Then, yes, I go, and 2 days later, he makes me an offer that I could not decline. For 1 year, I kept open the stable in the south of Italy, and in the meanwhile, I was working in Cattolica. How? I sent away all the sport horses from my own stable because I could not ride daily, but I kept the students and the riding school with the employee. All the weekend I had no show. I was driving to Down, 1,000 kilometers, the Saturday at 2 p.m., arriving at midnight, waking up 6 a.m. on the Sunday, giving lesson to all the students, lunching with my parents, 14 afternoon, driving back to Cattolica, 9 a.m. the Monday, riding for the owner. This I did for 1 year. Wow. And I didn't feel any day tired because I was pushed forward for my passion. After 1 year, the game came to the end because it was quite hard. I start to feel tired, of course. and I decided to close the stable in Italy. So I made a kind of meeting with all the owners and I said, guys, I'm very sorry, I cannot keep going like that. I want to close. There is something to say. Why did I move from the south to the north? It's for the same reason I'm here today. Because that move asked me to move out of my garden. And I say to myself, you want to die or you want to be the best of a small water or the last of the ocean? Of course, being the best of a small water or a small sea, it's a nice feeling, but it's a fake feeling because worldwide, it's way less than what you can be. So that thought pushed me to go in the north of Italy and to understand and to prove to myself again if I could swim in the ocean, and I could swim. So this is a tip that I give to everyone here. If there is a challenge, grab it, because 9 on 10 you're gonna be matching with the challenge. I closed the stable in Italy and I start to work permanently in Cattolica. No up and down anymore, but then another phone call comes from the best Italian rider in that moment. He say, can you come to the restaurant, we drink a coffee and we speak a little bit, blah, 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 blah. I say, yes, I come. He was already helping me during this period in the north of Italy with the horses. He was coaching me, and he say, Manuel, I just bought a stable in the Netherlands, and I need a person like you there. What do you think about it? What do I think? I just closed the stable in south of Italy, and I would stay a little bit quiet. Yes, but it's a big opportunity. We are in the middle of the world of the horse industry. I was in love with the guy, that's the truth, because for a 1 hour lesson of that guy, I would give my house for free. Because it is still is a very good rider and very good coach. So I say, Antonio, I cannot decline. I go sign the paper to finish here and I come to you. And in 2016, October, I start my trip with my BMW from the south of Italy, fuller can't be. I had no space to put anything more in the car, and I start the trip. I arrive in the Netherlands. I find himself cleaning my room, and I found really unusual because in Italy he's like a big guy. And I start this trip in the Netherlands. It was, I think, one of the best moments of my life because I could get paid to learn from the best. So I say, okay, this is another game. That was my dream a few years ago in Italy, having my stable, but this is another game. This is even more my dream. What happened? 2 years later, I met a girl, Martina, which gave me the feeling that family was going to come soon. But meanwhile, this feeling was making me really anxious because I didn't have any economic stability to offer this girl a family. So I could go just 10 times a month at McDonald's and klar, finito. But in the meanwhile, I didn't want to show her. I played the game to be more successful than what I was and more powerful than what I was, because it's not nice to don't wear the pants with the girl. I need to keep my pants on. And I say, what do I do now? Because now it's another thing. I don't want to lose her, I don't want to lose my job, I want to make more money, because money is important to survive and to go to Albertine. But I was tired. So she suggests me, Manuel, you are not made to be an employee. You have to go on your own. That was true, because back in the days I didn't want to be an employee of my father. Well, she said to me, you have to sell horses. And till then I was athlete, I was riding. I said, I don't want to sell horses, it's so cheap to sell animals. I don't like. I want to ride. I said, yes, you ride, but what you can win is already there. You are right. So what do we do? Better you start sell horses. So I go to my boss and I say, Antonio, I want to sell horses. You cannot do it because in my boutique you cannot go around to look for horses. But in the meanwhile, I had a small market in the south of Italy asking me for horses in the Netherlands, because I don't know if you know, guys, but the Netherlands, Belgium and Germany, but mostly the Netherlands, Eindhoven, North Brabant and Limburg are the heart of the horse industry worldwide. So everyone from all over the world wants to come here to buy horses. And you can imagine people from south of Italy, how they want to come here to buy horses. Really much. And I was the person standing here and living here, giving them the chance to buy a horse from the Netherlands. It's going like a broker of Gucci bags. Everyone wants it, and I'm in between. But I could not do it because my boss didn't want it. So again, another choice. I quit, and I start to sell horses, or I keep on riding like my dream was, or maybe is, I don't know. I could not really, I had no choice because I didn't want to lose Martina. And I knew that it was going to be a mess if I didn't take that choice. So I started to sell horses and I quit my job. But I didn't have where to live, I didn't have enough money to survive. I didn't have a solid situation, and I didn't have a network to sell horses once a week. Okay, I had one horse in the south of Italy. I sell for really cheap amount to get some money to survive and to give me the power to wait the first client. And thank God the first client arrived before the money finished. Was Francesco Spano, a big, nice guy that comes tomorrow to buy horses again. He bought the first horse, so I make new fresh money to wait the second client. And the second client comes again before the money finish. The first year of this game, I sold 25 horses, and it's quite a lot for a beginner. But why it was happening? Because my father taught me how to sell cars, and because I had enough knowledge of horses as a rider and as a coach. So this mix of knowledge made me having trust from unknown people, putting on my hands their money to buy horses. So the first year I sold quite a lot of horses and I made quite a lot of money, much more than what I was used to make as an employee. So I say, okay, I have to invest good in this job, even if I don't like, because in the beginning I didn't like to sell horses. So I come to Eindhoven, to KVK, I make an appointment and I open my Emanzak, 2018. That's called Manuel Albano Sport Horses. Since then, I sell the second year 30 horses, the third year 40 horses, the fifth year 45 horses, and we arrived to 2023, which was a very successful year. And I say, hey, now I have to buy a house because every month 1,500 for renting is a lot, and it's waste of money. I want to buy a house, but I don't know if I have a power enough to buy a house. So after a brainstorm with my bookkeeper and after analyzing all the numbers I made in the last 3 years, because you have to present 3 years balance, I went to Rabobank and I prayed that everything was enough to make it happen. And after 2 months waiting, they called me, you have a green light to buy a house. And I start to cry as a baby because I'm Italian, living in the Netherlands, starting from the scratch, yes, and made this house selling horses. Sounds to me incredible still, and I have so far not many colleagues that have done this. 2023 is a nice year, 2024 is a nice year, and it happens that I break up with Martina. But thank God, not because I wasn't good enough. we decide really in a peaceful way to break up because love can finish, and we need to accept it. So we break up, and I was living in my new house, and she was living in our old apartment. 2024, I turned 39. And I didn't mention that before riding horses in the south of Italy, I was a DJ. Yes. And this, I was running my own radio, Radio Puglia. Puglia is my region, so I was running my own radio in Radio Puglia. And then I start to ride horses, and I say, okay, music is better. Put the music on the side, because finishing to play music in the club 5 a.m. in the morning and starting riding 2 hours later doesn't last long. Riding at that moment was a really big energy inside me. I say, music, you're gonna sleep for a while. And I kept the music on the side till my 39 years old birthday. I organized a party in my favorite place where I always eat, in Asten, Mykonos. In 48 hours, I invited Mavi and few friends. We've been 40 people. At that moment, I felt quite okay to make it because it was a successful year, and I say, I want to celebrate. I booked a nice DJ, important DJ from the Netherlands, Ilona, but she understood 1 week later. So at 9 p.m., when she should show up, she didn't show up. but we all were waiting for her. So Iggy, the owner of the restaurant, calls her and says, "Where are you? We are all waiting for you. The booths are ready, the people is waiting for music." And Ilona say, "Iggy, you said me next Monday." I say, no, it was tonight. "Yeah, but now I'm in Istanbul, I cannot come." So what Manuel did, I had few USB stick in the car. I went to take it and I plug in. I did it really not conscious of what was going to happen. But since the first song, all my friends were like, "What's going on? Is he doing really this?" And then 5 minutes later, I was on Instagram everywhere. So everybody knew that I was a DJ. But I was really afraid of this because I worked so hard to get what I got in the business that I felt, okay, I can lose some business because of this. Because maybe some client will be not happy to give me the chance or to give me the trust to buy a horse from me if he knows that I'm playing music in the club till 4 a.m. Then I didn't do for 20 years because I was focused on making myself okay in business-wise. But 2024 it happened so randomly that after the stories on Instagram, the first reaction was from my best client, and he was yelling in a good way. So he was impressed and he pushed me to do more often. I said, "This is the life is strange," I thought, because I was expecting, okay, let's bring yours somewhere else because Manuel is playing in the club, and he said, no, keep on going. So what I was afraid all my life to hide the side of me was the correct feeling. So another tip I give you, try to be as authentic as possible because it's the most beautiful quality every one of you has. So after that night, I start to play music a little bit more often because I felt, okay, everybody knows it, why should I hide? So let's go forward. And 1 month later, 2 months later, I share a birthday evening from a big horse guy, another with Gino Lenoir, which is another Dutch DJ. We do back-to-back in this event, and was full of horse people. So for me, it was really like now, emotionally probing. After that, Gino a little bit fell in love with me, with my music, with my energy, and invites me to open his release party. The release party is a party made when the DJ producer release a new song, and it was in Amsterdam. You can believe, coming from Taranto, the bottom of Italy, playing music in the middle of Europe, in the capital of Europe, for me. So in May this year, I was playing in Amsterdam. It's a release party.
What do you think of the DJ Manuel? Please make some noise for Manuel. He's warming up the place.
After that, he calls me to play in EDE. You guys know what EDE is? So this year, for the first time in my life, I hope not the last, I played in EDE. And after that, now I'm resident in Mykonos, and I'm resident in a new club in Eindhoven that is called La Selva, in Stratum. So, yeah, I was still 5 minutes ago a horse dealer, but also a DJ. So, that's funny, but it's going on, and I think it's beautiful. Another really important topic in my life is the fitness. In 2021, I was already selling horses and I was quitting riding because now I don't ride anymore. I have no time for it. And my body started to change because since I was an athlete riding 10 horses per day, I switched slowly to ride 1,000 kilometers per day with the clients in the car. But I didn't get any changement in the food habits. So in 2021 I reached my largest size. So I was really oversized. And my brother said, Manuel, you really look not okay. You should do something. And he was already training for a while. And he said, I make you a program, follow the program, start to go train, because like that you're gonna list not much. And so I did. 2021, I started this trip in the gym with my brother helping me, and I started a kind of food plan that was most helping me to change bad habits and to stop to eat or to reduce to eat junk food and eating more healthy food. I find this really belong a successful story, because sometimes can be that the unfit body can be successful, but most of the time fit body is belong a fit mind. So sport is the key. Before to do everything belong our career, we need to take care of ourselves, because we don't live forever, and we have one body, one mind. We need to take first of all care of this, and then for all the rest. And this is an important topic for me because it changed my life. Now I'm happy to see myself at mirror like that, but it's belong 3 times a week in the gym. I'm eating as much as possible healthy. Of course, I do McDonald's sometimes, pizza or whatever, but in 20% of the food plan. For the rest, I try to stay as healthy as possible. So this is plus minus my 20 years old story squeezed in 30 minutes. I hope you did enjoy, and I hope can help you guys, because for me it's a nice story. If I look back, I would make exactly the same choices I made. I would live exactly in the same way. The only thing maybe I would change, if I could do what I'm doing now closer to my family, would be the best. But it's an hard choice, and life is not always easy, and it's made from hard choices. For the rest, follow your dreams, follow your frequency, listen your energy. Think that everything is possible, because everything is possible. If you really want, it's going to happen sooner or later, and start from a vision. My strongest weapon was a vision, unconsciously, because when I was young, 18 years old, 20 years old, I had my vision. I could not paint on paper or write in letters, but I had my vision, and the vision drove me during the way. So, yeah, that's it.